this so we can kind of record this for prosperity, and if there are any issues, this will be a good way for my developers to see these issues. So if you want to go ahead and select some sales orders here, and we'll see whether this functionality is working.
Okay. Let me see if Marie is supposed to be on this call. Hold on, Simon.
Sure.
Here she is. Marie, were you going to be on the call with Simon? Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's just going to be you and me. So the first thing you wanted to do was create a vendor bill from a sales order, right?
Yeah, perfect, yeah. And I think that works because I think the two things we want to look at are kind of related to kind of your expertise.
Okay. Oh, we don't have SDs in here.
And should we? Yeah.
Yeah, we. I thought that we would have all of our LTL carriers in here.
Okay, so I'll double check
So
that for you. Okay.
Yeah, if you could. So I'll just do UPS and see what we can find. Let me see if I can find one of the newer. Here we go. Okay. All right, so there's our sales order. And normally I would just do create bill.
Okay.
And okay, good, it populated.
Yeah, so let's turn it into the tabbed view. Let's select that one on the right there at the top because I just want to see if we can see some data in here. Okay, looks good. Now click on the items tab here. Okay, perfect. And then the notes. Now, I think one thing that'll be interesting to see is, I wonder if we should add a note in here when we automatically create the vendor bill from a sales order. Do you think that would be a good idea? Or you're not bothered?
We could. It would show, or it should show up in the history tab. Once it's done, it should say that it was manually entered by me or whoever did it.
Okay, perfect.
So I don't know if that would be necessary.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and if there's anything needed to be added there at all, add that. If not, let's just go ahead and select save on there.
Does it already exist? Go back into the sales order. Oh, wait, hold on. Yes, I want to move on.
Let's go ahead and save that.
Oh, it does already exist. So I'm going to just add an A.
Okay.
And see. Well, I wonder if this just came over. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a different pro or just add an A to it.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a good check anyway because that kind of made us aware that obviously that validation is working. So in trying to create that, it said, oh, okay, you already have one already. So so that's good. We were able to test that out.
I'll just add it as a different, like an accessorial. I'll just call it a lift gate.
Perfect.
Okay, so it did there. And yeah, that's the note that we wanted.
Perfect.
I'll say yes.
I think this is good too. It's kind of telling you what's going on here.
Mhm. What does this mean?
Yeah, let me get that checked out for you. Interesting. Okay, perfect. Okay. So it looks like the flow. So let's go ahead and save that one. And let's try and pick another one where there wasn't a vendor bill created for it. I wonder if the EDI 210 came in and created that vendor bill, and that's maybe why the vendor bill did exist for that one. So yeah, let's go ahead and save this one.
I'm getting this note again, telling me that it's not, that the changes haven't been submitted for this new one, or is it for this one? I thought that.
That's a good question, and I'll get the developers to look at that, because what's interesting is when you have the different tabs open, which tab were you trying to close? This tab here? Let's see if we still get it when you try and, let's do a yes Let's do a no on there. And let's try and close one of these tabs, because that's a really good point. Okay, so, okay.
I guess it's this one. Close that one.
Okay, so it was related to the other one. It wasn't. I wonder why it's related to this one. Shouldn't be related to that. Okay, we're recording what's going on anyway, so these guys can have a look at this and kind of determine kind of what hasn't happened there correctly. But it looks like that the create bill functionality is in there. We can create a...
It doesn't look like it worked, though.
No, exactly.
Because remember,
Yes,
yeah.
And I think it's because we got that error. But let's just try one other thing here. Let's try and find a sales order here that there wasn't a vendor bill already created for, and see if that works. I'm just wondering if it may have been something to do with creating the A bill there from it, and maybe that functionality hadn't been tested correctly. So let's have a look at these other ones.
Okay, see if it'll pull up.
Now the good thing is we're
actually UPS again.
Yeah, and that's too slow. That's really, really slow. Okay, so let's close this transaction screen for the moment, okay? And let's go back into the transaction screen.
Will these...
yeah, if you click on them, they should go away, but that actually should not be occurring. So we'll look into that too.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on here. Yeah, it's kind of, oh, there we go. So I don't know why I didn't pull first time. That's kind of odd.
Is it going to be faster?
It should be, yes.
Later
yes.
When we...
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay.
So we'll look to optimize a lot of the queries on here for this.
Okay, good.
I think the issue here is there's obviously a lot of data coming in from the sales order, so it's kind of loading that, but most definitely.
Oh, this one's canceled.
Okay.
I need to find a different one.
So it's a manually finalized status, is it, that you can only create a bill on, or is there other? Can you create them on all statuses?
All of them, as long as it's in a finalized status.
Okay.
If it's pending, I'm not going to be able to do that.
Okay, fair enough.
Or canceled.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, but it doesn't tell me. This is the one that I clicked on, this very last one. And it doesn't tell me over here that it's canceled.
Interesting. Okay, so we'll have a look into that one too, okay?
Okay, so let me see. Or that could have been a different one. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
so
I don't
let me
like...
see if this one has...
Okay, so let's try this one out.
This one doesn't
There's nothing
have a
there.
vendor bill.
Perfect, okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to see... Okay. Yeah, this one looks good. So let's try saving this one, and hopefully we don't get that same error. And then we'll look into why the other one is in error. No,
yeah,
looks like they're all in error. Okay. Yeah, let's have a look into that for you and see what's wrong with that, and hopefully we can get a fix on that overnight and get that one sorted out. Okay, so let's move on to the report here. So I kind of want you to take us through kind of how you use this report on a daily basis. Now, I'm hoping that this report is almost like is it the way the department currently works? Do you print this out on a daily basis and then hand this out to the team members, and the team members work the item on that report?
It's just a matching report, and what it is, it's been built for us specifically. And here, I actually have one open that I'm working on.
Perfect. Yeah, let's have a look through this because
I can actually do one for you and work through it from start to finish if you want.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
This one I've been working on all day. So I'm actually going to just close this one out. Let me pull up my math. Okay, so we get do you see the math?
Yes, I do, yes.
Math right now? Okay. what we do is we get this information from Mass, all of the invoices that are open and have been approved to submit payment towards. So I'm going to enter in my carrier here. This is just a filter that I've done custom. So I put in my carrier here. Everything that's open is coming up right in here. And I'm going to export it into the one that we already have created. It's just defaulted here. And
So
I'm going
what
to
you
export
was
it into
just
this Excel spreadsheet.
okay, so just backing up a second here, this mass view that you're given here, was that set up by Jerry? Jerry kind of set the screen up, did he, for you? Or, I mean, how?
No, this is a custom filter that I did.
Okay, so
I
you
have
created this
several
custom
just with
filter
the
with
AP
basically all
function.
that stuff on the top. Okay, great. And
Yeah.
what was the reasoning behind creating that filter? What are you exactly looking for here?
I only want to pull open invoices that haven't
Okay,
been paid
okay,
from this certain carrier.
got it. Okay,
Because we
got it.
reconcile by carrier, not just, we don't do them all together.
So what's your
So,
decision making based around the carrier? You know, are you working different carriers on different days, or is it?
Yeah, they're scheduled out based on when they were last paid,
Okay,
and Marie actually keeps track of that and gives us a schedule. We've all been assigned our own accounts, our own carriers,
got it.
and when those come up on the schedule, she'll give us a sheet that tells us what we need to do that week.
Got it. Okay, perfect.
This happens to be one of mine.
So can you send that? Can you get that off Marie and have that sent to me? Because I'd be interested to see, who's working what on what days. I think that'd be useful information for us, definitely.
I mean, I can ask her if
Yeah.
she's able to send that to you.
Okay, perfect. So you work different carriers on different days. You have you use that filter to filter out those carriers. Now, are you doing this for everyone in the whole department?
No, we all do our own.
Okay, so everyone's got access to this, and they run this on a daily basis, and this becomes essentially your roadmap for the day then, or do you have other kind of other duties outside of this to take care of?
This is the majority of what we do throughout the day.
Perfect. Okay,
We
lovely.
do have emails and we do have, inputting of invoices and those kinds of things. But yeah, this is probably the majority of the day.
Yeah, so this gives you a roadmap for what you want to do, and you open GlobalNet, you find these, and then you work them accordingly, correct?
Right.
Okay, so let's have a look at the flow after this. So you've ran this in mass, and then you copied that to the spreadsheet, yes?
Yeah, I went ahead and uploaded it into this spreadsheet, and this is all the data here that came up. Oh wait, where is it? Here we go. This is all the data that was in here in my report here.
Got it.
Is now in here.
Okay.
Now what I have to do is I have to remove some columns.
Okay.
Because Jerry actually added some, and if columns are added, it messes with the existing macro because that data is not in the macro.
Okay, got it.
So we have to delete these columns.
Okay.
And this one. Okay. So now I'm just going to go ahead and save this to the specific carrier folder within our accounts payable folder. And that's on our M drive. And this carrier's Mana.
Okay.
Okay, so once that's saved, I just close it. And at this point, I'm done with math until I'm done building the report. So I have that saved on the M drive.
Perfect.
And I need 3 things. Let me just pull up that one again. But I need to pull it up on this server. Okay. So this is the report that I just saved. This is all the data that I'm going to work off of.
Okay.
Now there's these 3 tabs: dispute board, previous rec sheet, and vendor statement.
Okay.
I need to input data into each one of these tabs.
Yeah, okay.
So the first one, dispute board, that's where I'm going to get from here.
Got it.
So
Okay.
this is actually good. So I'm going to see if it's going to work.
Perfect.
So dispute board details. I'm looking up Mana. And okay.
Okay. Perfect.
So this is everything that's in exception. Anything that's not cleared for payment. There's requote, dispute,
yes,
whatever it
yes.
might be. Let me see if I can get more stuff. Because these all just, here we go. See, there's these dispute,
Yeah.
manual audit, short pay.
Okay, perfect.
So
I like what they've done there.
Isn't working.
Interesting. So the access to that path is denied. So it's good to find this information. That's why we do this testing.
Yeah.
Because I run that on my machine, and of course it works fine. It works perfect. So I wonder if we need a way when we press that to actually point to where we want to save this, because it looks like your local drive there is protected from being able to save to, and then because of that you're not seeing that there. Okay, so let's continue anyway as if this was working. So you go ahead, you save that off, that report then goes into that tab, correct?
Right. It would go, I'll just go ahead and I have one. It's not
Perfect.
For this carrier, but just for...
Yeah, we'll get that fixed too. It looks like that's, as I say, it's an issue trying to save locally. But, it's great to find this information as we go along, because you don't want to go live and obviously find this information. Okay, so there's a report.
All right, so I've got, this is just for a different carrier, but this is what it'll look like when you export it.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go into here, the dispute board tab, and just paste it.
Perfect.
And then I want to get rid of that. Okay, so now the next one is previous rec sheet.
Okay.
And then this is our accounts payable folder. These are all of our LTL carriers. There's a few truckload and supply chain.
Okay.
But I'm going to go and get...
So can you do me a favor and send me a screen print of all those LTL carriers? Because as I say, if the Estes was missing, we'll need to make sure that that's in there. So, and we'll need to do a double check on that. I wonder if it's something to do with staging, but I would think that because we took production data and put it in staging, I'm not too sure why. So you can leave that. I actually am recording this, so you don't even need to give me a screen print. What you saw there, that's good enough. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, wonderful.
Okay. All right, so I'll go ahead and open up Mana, and I'm going to get the rec sheet that we did the last time I reconciled it.
Okay.
And it's just going to grab everything, all of these notes.
Okay, so where are you actually getting this from? Where is this data coming from?
When we, let me show you last month's reconciliation. Here we go. And you'll see it when I run the actual macro, but this is my completed reconciliation for Mana.
Got it.
This is, I've gone through everything that's okay to be paid. I've got them in here. And then anything that I'm not paying, like just these, for instance, because there's no data in here, it gets exported onto this spreadsheet.
Okay.
We call it our rec sheet. And it just tells the carrier the reason why we're not paying it, how much we're not paying. Well, this one's actually a credit that we're not taking, but that's beside the point. So it just tells them why payment was omitted. But we need to put this back in when we reconcile again to see if anything's been resolved.
Okay. Wow, this is a total manual process, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty manual. So I'm going to put it in my previous rec sheet. And I mean, this portion is just the copy paste kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then my last one is vendor statement. And I'm going to take the new statement, I just got it today, of everything that's still open on our account.
And do you know
And
where
I'm going
this
to
comes from,
copy.
this data here?
Yeah, I get that from the carrier. They send
Okay.
it to me.
So they send that in a
And
spreadsheet to you, or?
yeah.
Okay.
And, we just manipulate it to the information we need. We just need date, pro, and balance due.
Okay, perfect.
And so now everything's inputted, my dispute board,
And that's
my
once a
previous
month
rec
they
sheet.
send that, or do they send that every day?
The majority of our carriers, we do this once a month.
Okay, perfect.
Some of them we do twice a month, but they're the larger ones. And we'll run a matching report like what I'm doing now, but we won't necessarily do a formal reconciliation.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So we have our rec sheet and then our statement. And the first macro, Control-Shift-D. And then we do another macro, Control-Shift-R. And so it pulled everything, all of these things here, they were on the previous rec sheet in here. So it pulls these notes. It matches it up with the pro number here, and then puts it in my note column here. So I can see if anything's changed.
Perfect. Okay,
So
lovely.
at this point, I'm just going to do some formatting. This is just for me. Everybody does it slightly different, but
Okay.
I already did that. But just so I can read it better. I'm missing several invoices, so this isn't going to be the final
Okay.
at all. So these are all still in dispute. Okay, so let's just say I go ahead and I go through the whole reconciliation process. I short pay what I need to. I removed what we're not paying, put in my notes why we're not paying it, all those things.
Great.
That's okay. I'm just going to clear these out. Okay. So once that's all done, oh, you know what? I have to actually change this one to dispute. And I'm just going to put this note so you can see it, and you can see it come over. Okay. So let's say that's done. I'm ready to select my payment. And I go ahead and select that in mass. And then I'll run my last macro, Control-Shift-B. And then this comes up. This is that rec sheet, but this is my new one for this month's reconciliation.
Okay.
And I put in the month I reconciled, it's November, the statement balance, which I can get on my statement tab. This is the amount, the total amount that's due. My statement date is today. I got it today. And my last invoice date was 10/23/14. And I just want to change this to no fill. And these are all the notes that we put. Remember, I put in did not receive. They just grab all those notes and they put them in here.
Perfect. Excellent.
And then down here is my final balance, the amount I'm going to pay. And if I go back to vendor statement, it's $625.20 here also.
Wow.
So that just tells me I balanced.
Okay, perfect.
And then I put my name and all that.
Yeah.
And then this one, we'll save this separately so I can plug it in next time.
Okay.
And then this is actually the report that we sent to the carrier.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, lovely. So really, there's very little interaction between this process then and GlobalNet, or is there? We missing
Oh,
something
no, there
there?
is.
Okay.
There is a lot of interaction.
Okay.
Here, these disputes, I would have to go into every single, well, I mean, if I didn't get the bill, but like this one, I know I would have to go into GlobalNet, and I can do it in the accounting portal.
So you go into GlobalNet, you find that sales order, correct?
Well, we go off of the vendor bill
Okay.
number, like I'm doing now. I'm just going to pull it up, see if
Okay.
it's even in here. Yeah, it is. And then I'll pull
Perfect.
it up, and it's in requote status.
Got it. Okay.
So, oh, and there's a negative profit here, but that's
Okay.
why. But if it had been in dispute
Yeah.
and I needed to short pay it, then that's that. This is just a rough example right now.
So
But
you
yeah,
would
no,
go
there's lots.
into the sales order and short pay it in the dispute, or how would that process
We
go?
would go into the vendor bill and
Okay.
dispute it.
Okay. Perfect. And then set that in dispute over here with the dispute information associated with it. And that's the only interaction you do have on those records with GlobalNet? Is there any other interaction?
No, we would go into the requotes or the ones that are in manual audit
Okay.
and see if there was any way that we could go ahead and manually clear those.
Okay.
The POs, we would go in and see if we could find the sales orders that they are supposed to attach to.
Got it.
And then if there was anything, for instance, these it says did not receive.
Yeah.
I could go in there and actually look it up, and that's where this report, vendor bill tracking report,
Okay.
that's where that comes in. And I could put all of those ones that my matching report says I didn't receive. I could put them all in there and see if I actually did receive them.
Okay.
Because if they didn't move to mass, I'm not going to have that information when I pull the actual data because it's not in mass yet.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, lovely. So let's just go back to the report there. So really the main tab that you're working in the report is essentially this dispute board tab. Is that, no, sorry, the vendor statement. So this
Right,
is the
once I
main,
run the final macros.
yeah, so basically the contents of really everything end up in this vendor statement tab. And then from there, that's kind of your roadmap for what you need to work inside GlobalNet, the accounting portal. And basically, every team member would use that on a daily basis to work through everything they need to do. So I think the idea that I'm having of having possibly the contents of this inside that main dashboard might be a decent idea, because then, we'd log on, we'd know what each team member's working, which carriers they're working, and if somehow, some way we could take the contents of mass and the contents of perhaps some other things, those reports and those other things, and then put the contents of that on the screen, that's going to be a huge help for you on kind of improving the process here going forward. So I'll have my development team kind of look at this video that we put together. I'm sure they'll have more questions, and we'll work through those questions tomorrow. I'll meet with these guys tomorrow morning, and then we'll address these other items related to the creation of the bill here, because I think we need to finally see that bill inside the system, that bill saved and that bill working. It looks like there are probably about 90% there. We just need to work out why we currently getting that defect there at the end, and then we'll also look at why we can't save locally for this process, and we'll have to probably give you, where's that being saved at the moment when those reports are saved off? Are they saved to your desktop? Are they saved to your M drive? So inside
They're saved to the M drive.
Okay, so what would be useful is if I can just take a look at that. So it's M drive accounts, payable, rec sheets, and then basically you make a decision on where you want to save that report to inside here. So as long as we can save it there, and then you click inside the directory and then click enter, then I think we should be good related to that report. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So sorry.
No, go ahead.
So that report, the vendor bill exception report, is essentially just ran for the different carriers. That's how you run this report. Would that be a correct statement?
The vendor bill. Well, I don't know what the vendor bill exception report is.
Sorry, no, the dispute details. Sorry, that first one, the dispute details.
Oh, dispute. Yeah, that's by carrier.
So you only ever run that for carriers. Okay, so that's really good information to have. And then the vendor bill exception report, is that not one of the reports that you run?
No, not for reconciliation. This is one that Marie uses.
Okay, so I'll need some data off Marie where she's saving these, and then we can create the correct dialogue to save these off. Okay. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time there. And as I say, I really do want to improve this process related to this report. And so we'll see what we can do here. We've got some very clever people on this in India looking at this. So we'll see what we can do overnight, and then we'll give you some feedback tomorrow. Thank you, Jennifer.
Sounds good.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah, talk to you tomorrow.
All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.